Hey guys and welcome back to my channel. This is part 4 of What If Naruto was the Maelstrom of Aura in Pokémon and got a harem. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing content, and also go and support the author, link in description. Naruto nodded his head after hearing Bayonette's tone and quickly began gathering his clothes off his stand and the weapons by his bed, having a feeling it was needed. I'll meet you all by the lake, so don't take too long, Bayonette said as she sunk into the floor. We will head out first, Riolu said. The other Pokémon began heading out the window. We will see you in a few minutes, Naruto. Naruto nodded as he began to dress in his combat guardian clothing and making sure that everything was set before heading out. Anbu would still be out and about, even if it's this late at night, Naruto whispered as he began to run while staying near the shadow of buildings. I'd rather not have to try and deal with them if I can avoid it. He quickly jumped into allies and pathways. As Naruto made it to the woods, he sensed a patrol of aura signatures jumping through the trees. This made Naruto activate his aura and used quick attack to augment his speed to get away from them. The young Uzumaki's eyes widened before he slid down under a tree and covered himself with the brown cloak that blended in with the trees. He hid just in time as an Anbu landed on the ground and looked around before jumping away. When the Anbu member was far enough away, Naruto ran off, putting the cloth in his seal. Sure are a lot of Anbu out tonight, Naruto thought as he arrived at his training ground. Good, you have arrived in good time, Bayonette's voice rang out before rising from the ground next to the lake. She flew over the lake before releasing her energy into the lake as Naruto has done many times before. Your three partners are already in the reverse world waiting. The usual vortex formed quickly as it sucked everything in. Let's get moving, young guardian. I doubt the others would like to be kept waiting for much longer. Naruto nodded and jumped into the portal, followed quickly by Bayonette. Reverse world. Forest. Naruto appeared as he jumped up and landed onto the soft grass as he looked around. On the grass was Riolu, Eevee, and Zorua with serious expressions. Floating behind him was Bayonette with her arms crossed. In the slightly darker sky were Giratina and surprisingly Arceus herself. Under them was a Pokémon Naruto had yet to spend time with. The Pokémon was a bipedal, humanoid Pokémon whose body resembled a white flowing gown. Most of its body was white, but its hair, arms, and the underside of the gown was a green color. Behind its red eyes are short spikes, resembling a masquerade mask. It has long arms with 3 fingers on each hand, and slender white legs. A red, fin-like horn extends from its chest, and a shorter, more rounded horn extends from the back. A band of green on its chest extends to the center of the front and connects to its sleeve-like arms. This was Gardevoir, the Embrace Pokémon and a psychic, fairy-type Pokémon. She had a very distraught expression and looked to have been crying. Naruto smiled and waved at Arceus and Giratina before giving a slight bow. How may I be of help to you guys this night? Naruto asked as he looked to the Pokémon. Is everything alright? No, young guardian, Arceus said in a serious tone that made Naruto snap to attention. This here is Gardevoir, the leader of the Gardevoir clan line. During a training regimen and collection raid, her daughter went through unnoticed. She has been last seen early afternoon and Gardevoir was finally able to establish a link with her child. This has caused quite a stir as she has been found and locked away due to her uniqueness. Hearing that a Pokémon had been captured and locked away both angered and worried Naruto. Where is she? She is currently in Kirigakure, the village hidden in the mist, Giratina said. We would send one of the other Pokémon to collect her, but it would be better to avoid another incident. With you being human, it would be better and easier for you to move around. Your mission is to infiltrate Kiri, get Ralts, and get out. Naruto nodded as he looked over to Arceus, who gave him a concerned look. Naruto, I need you to understand something, she said. While we could easily get Ralts back on our own, it would reveal our more powerful Pokémon before it's safe. This mission would be exceedingly dangerous, so we need you to not hold back, but also be extremely careful. Kirigakure is under a very bloody civil war right now between its citizens and Cage versus the Bloodline users, and your skills may get mistaken for one. This is not a test, nor is it a time to try to prove yourself. If you are in danger, don't be afraid to retreat or call for backup. Return to the reverse world if you must do so. Please, just be ready for everything and anything. I understand Lady Arceus, Naruto nodded as he gave a gentle smile. I will be extra careful, you can count on me. He looked to the distraught Gardevoir before walking up and giving her a warm and comforting hug. Don't worry Lady Gardevoir, I will do everything that I can to help return your daughter to you. I promise. Gardevoir smiled happily as she returned the hug. Thank you, Naruto-san, she replied joyfully. Please bring my baby girl back to me safely. She's so scared. Naruto nodded before images flooded his mind. The image was of a dimly lit jail cell that looked to be haven't cleaned in a long time. The cell bars were dirty and around the cell was kanji written on the walls and floor. The image focused in on a figure that was curled into a ball in the corner. The figure was a small humanoid creature with a small white body. It had thin arms and legs that widen near toward the feet. There is a wispy extension trailing off the back of its feet, creating the overall impression of a nightgown or oversized dress. Most of its face was covered by blue hair that resembled a bowl cut, but a pair of pinkish-red eyes was barely visible. There were two flat, red horns on top of its head, a large one toward the front and a smaller one at the back. So that's Ralts, Naruto thought as he made sure to memorize every detail of the room that he could. I'm all ready to go guys, send me when you are ready, he said as he looked to Giratina. The Lord of the Reverse World took a deep breath, before blasting open another vortex portal. We will be on standby here Naruto, Riolu said as he walked up. You can call us whenever you need us. Do not hesitate because we might be hurt. Yeah Naruto, Zorua said next as he smirked. We can kick just as much butt as you can, so we will be here ready to back you up. Naruto nodded before Eevee jumped into his arms, licking his left cheek. Please be safe Naruto, she said in a worried tone. I want you to return to us. I will Eevee, Naruto said as he pets the normal type's head and set her down. You just be ready for pickup should I call for you partner. The red-tipped blonde turned to the portal and took to the portal before jumping in. Elemental Nations. A portal opened up in a small pond that Naruto rose from and landed next to. The portal closed up without a trace. Naruto proceeded to look around and shook his head at what he could see, or more accurately, what he could barely see. Just as the name of the village suggested, the surrounding area was hidden by a thick mist. It wasn't so bad that he couldn't see at all, but enough to where he couldn't see too far ahead with his normal vision. What he could see was concealed greenery, tall trees and some animals that looked at him in curiosity. There was a river not far from him that went on till it vanished in the mist. It would seem that I am in some kind of forest, Naruto thought as he began walking, making a slight slosh sound with his steps. I guess I shouldn't be shocked that everything is so wet here, with it being called the Hidden Mist Village and all. Plus, the air is so much cooler than in Konoha. Well, it's time I start the mission, but first I need to find the village. Concentrating his aura, he activated his aura sight. He was surprised to find out how much easier he could see now that he had merely focused on the aura around him. He looked to his right and saw a large amount of aura signatures. Some moving at high speeds, some moving at sedate paces. Whoa, that's a really strong aura. Naruto exclaimed mentally in shock as he noticed one aura sense in particular. It was centered in the middle of all the others and it was brighter than all the others. That must be the village then. The Uzumaki Namikaze concentrated aura to his legs and ran as fast as he could, looking like a blur to anyone else. Naruto was close to the mist village in only a few short moments. As Naruto reached the village, he felt the exhaustion of the day begin to take its toll, due to not having enough rest. He gazed into the village streets, his aura sight on full blast as he looked around. Why can't I locate Ralt's signature? Naruto thought to himself as he tried to focus harder. Her aura signature as a Pokémon should make it easier for me, but I can't find her anywhere. What is going on? Naruto took notice of 3 signatures heading to a direction away from the village to his far left. He looked and took notice of another mass of signatures far from the village over another mass of water. Maybe those are the people who are fighting the village, he thought as he saw the signatures heading over to it. Now that I think of it, I wonder why the village is trying to kill the bloodline users in the first place. What caused the fighting? As he looked at the signatures, he couldn't help but notice how powerful the aura signatures were. If he faced them now, he would be 100% sure to lose. I'm going to have to find somewhere to get some rest right now. As he looked around, he found a tree with a lot of foliage and jumped onto its thick branches and hid into its leaves. The young Uzumaki Namikaze closed his eyes as he quickly let his exhaustion take him. I hope things will look up for me in the morning. The next day, Naruto awoke from his sleep with a start, having felt an explosion that shook the area and tree he was in. This caused Naruto to nearly fall from the tree branch, before he caught the branch and swung himself upwards until he hid himself amongst the tree leaves. He looked around and found himself staring down two shinobis that were sparring one another. Each shinobi held a blade of some kind and held another blade of a different kind. The first shinobi was a woman with relatively long, red hair and was much shorter than the other swordsman. Her black eyes held a mischievous flint in them. Along with the Kiri forehead protector, she wore a brown cloth that tied parts of hair to the sides of her head, both tied upwards and let the remainder flow downwards. She wore a loose, pin-striped long-sleeved shirt with a dark obi around the waist, black pants that got looser closer to the ends. She had bandages tied loosely around her neck and wore a smirk that showed off her sharp teeth, reminding Naruto of a shark. Her swords were a pair, and both were each a straight, double-edged. Both the blades had a curved upward bladed prong near the tip of one side of the blade, and another one being near the base of the blade's other side. The second person was actually a quite tall man, with a very thin frame that gave the appearance of being ill to Naruto. He had long, shaggy, straw-colored blonde hair. Naruto could not see the man's face as it was covered by a white, porcelain Anbu mask that had a green-colored triangle on its lower half, slits for eye holes, and Kirigakure's symbol etched on the top half. He wore a damp, sleeveless black shirt, matching pants, complete with a waist guard, and Kirigakure's striped wrist and leg guards. He wore bandages around his neck that were also slightly dampened. Naruto was mesmerized by the show of swordsmanship between the two as they both tried to gain the upper hand on each other. The one with two blades tried her best to try and get past the blonde mont's guard, but the skinny man showed how skilled he was by parrying and blocking the strikes. The red-haired girl twisted around the next strike from the shaggy-haired man, but her arm moved up in time to block a kick that sent her flying into the tree next to Naruto's. Such strength within those thin legs. Naruto exclaimed mentally. I really would rather not get kicked by him if I can help it. It would seem that you may be getting soft, Amayuri, the masked man said in a mocking tone. Or could it be that you are getting old? If you're not careful, you may just die by my blade before an enemy shinobi does it. The redhead, now named Amayuri, merely smirked. Hey, don't think you have the advantage here, Kushimaru, she said as she got into a stance with her two blades at the ready. You're just lucky I'm still getting over that damn disease. Kushimaru nodded as he too took another stance, his blades point facing downward. Yes, you should have died years ago, but it would seem you cheated death like the stubborn brat that you are in a lot of pure luck. Amayuri's blades roared to life as lightning surrounded the blades as she smirked, her shark-like teeth showing. I have more than enough life in my body to enjoy this snack between us. Lightning Blade Jutsu. Thunderbolt. A powerful bolt of electricity shot from her blades and rushed at the masked swordsman who leaned his body to the side, only a few hairs of his got singed from the strike. Looks like your aim is off, Kushimaru taunted as he tightened his grip before he began pulling out ninja wire. Maybe it's time you retired and turned in your blade. After all, wouldn't want to risk the Kiba blades getting out of Kiri or enemy hands in general. Kushimaru tossed his blade at Amayuri who ducked and jumped back before jumping away, the thin wire connected to the tossed blade barely missing her. She then charged forward, an action mirrored by Kushimaru. Amayuri and Kushimaru, Naruto thought as he watched the two swordsmen clash over and over again. He was amazed by the amount of skill that the two possessed while still holding back. His eyes were stuck on the two, having trouble fighting down the worry that crept up in his mind. I know I read about both of those names from somewhere, but I can't remember. Either way, I really do need to get going. I don't have time to be caught by those two. A bright light caught Naruto's attention as he realized that the light came from Amayuri who was charging up a high amount of electricity. Realizing it was going to be a fairly big attack, Naruto tensed his muscles as a reflex. Lightning style. Depth charge. She cried out as a powerful bolt of electricity struck down, destroying the area with a small explosion. Using the explosion and smoke as a coverage, Naruto snapped out of his stupor and jumped away and ran off using the aura in his legs as a boost to get away from the area as quick as possible. While he could use quick attack to escape faster, he didn't know how skilled of a sensor those two were and would rather not risk it. Naruto landed near the border of the village and the red-tipped blonde looked at the village entrance. In his opinion, the village was definitely pretty and had its own unique flair compared to his home village. Seeing a few people walking around, Naruto took notice of their clothing. Most of them wore darker clothing than he did and he chose to bury his jacket and keep his black undershirt and chainmail under that. Moving quick, Naruto entered the village under a small aura-induced illusion and quickly mixed himself amongst the shadows of the buildings as best he could. Naruto couldn't help but notice that not many civilians were out and about, at least when he compared it to Konoha. He took note that many people that he could see looked to be shinobi. They were patrolling the streets, combing the areas. The few civilians that were out generally kept their heads down and out of the way. They were doing their absolute best to not call attention to themselves. It's like even the civilians are afraid of their own protectors, Naruto thought to himself as he watched some people flinch when Akiri Jonin looked their direction. Lady Arceus said they were in a civil war, but I didn't know things would be this bad. Naruto did his best to emulate the scared civilians by keeping his head down himself while staying near the building's shadows. At the same time, Naruto kept his aura sense active, hoping to locate Ralt's unique signature. Just as before, Naruto could not locate the unique signature anywhere in the village and it was worrying. He kept moving and found the buildings were either in need of repair or were standing tall. Turning quickly he entered one of the more destroyed buildings and hid away so he could think clearly. I'm in a foreign that I don't know too much about, Naruto thought as he leaned against the damp marble walls. And I can't do too much or I gain some unwanted attention that could end badly. Man, this sucks. He took a deep breath before he decided to explore the building as he thought over his next plan. He took note that this building must have been an old office buildings due to the different cabinets and desks lying around. Dust and debris littered the place as wet papers and equipment were scattered about. He looked around sadly as he saw some dried blood mixed in with the damp walls and floors. Not a lot, but enough to show a battle had taken place here. As he walked around, Naruto stopped as he heard a strange echo sound from the floorboards. He looked down and lightly tapped it a few more times and noticed that it sounded hollow in comparison to which made him examine it more. He noticed that the floorboard looked a bit different than the surrounding area. Focusing his aura to the area, Naruto was confused because he couldn't really see anything. Taking a wild guess, Naruto bent down and grabbed the floorboards. As he pushed up, he was shocked by the floorboard lifting up. A cold mist poured out slowly, shouting a staircase and nothing more. Focusing once more, he made his way down the stairs. I hope you are down here, Ralts, he thought to himself as he readied himself just in case as he entered a tall but narrow hallway. It gave enough maneuverability to maneuver around but not to his liking. As he walked, Naruto began to feel more and more nervous as he began to slowly lose visibility due to the mist. Is it me or is the mist getting thicker here? He thought to himself as a bead of sweat rolled down his face. Maybe coming down here wasn't my best decision. Hearing a strange noise, though very faint, made Naruto cancel his aura sight and channel chakra to his ears to listen better. His eyes widened when just barely a foot away, was a huge blade spinning right for him. Bending backwards, showcasing impressive flexibility, Naruto allowed the blade to harmlessly pass over him. Snapping back to place, Naruto pulled out two kunais as he got himself ready to strike. Seems to me that have some skill on you, a deep voice spoke out through the mist. It's too bad that you found this hatch because you will have to die. Feeling his danger sense screaming at him to move, Naruto ducked in time to dodge a punch aimed for his face. Leaning to the side, he dodged a kick that would have hit his chin and twisted his body so he could jump back in time to avoid an elbow for his head. He used his hands to flip away to avoid another strong strike. When he landed, he used his kunai to block two kunais that were thrown at him. Naruto was shocked by the amount of force they had as they nearly knocked his arm away. The mist cleared a bit more to reveal the attacker. The attacker was a tall man who had grayish skin with well-defined muscles. He had short black, spiky hair along with small eyebrows. He wore white bandages that wrapped around the bottom half of his face. He had the Kurigakure headband sideways on his head. He wore what appeared to be the Kurigakure Anbu uniform as he had the flak jacket on. His right hand held the handle of the giant blade that tried to cleave him in two earlier. You got some impressive moves, I'll give you that, the man said as he gripped the handle and yanked the blade from the wall with no effect. Too bad you will have to die here, I would have liked to see the skill you would have had in the future. He then tossed two kunais at Naruto, who was ready. Naruto effortlessly dodged the two kunais but was shocked by the man appearing before him with his blade already aiming to cleave him in half from the waistline. Naruto ducked in time as the blade cut the tip of his spiky hair. He was unprepared for the kick aiming for his face as he coated his arm in chakra and brought them up in an X formation just in time. The force of the kick not only sent Naruto sailing back, but it also made him drop his kunai in the process. Flipping in the air, Naruto landed on his feet as he winced from the throbbing in his arms. Realizing he couldn't hold back, he flowed aura to his arms. Recover, he whispered as he felt the effect heal his wounds and felt the throbbing vanished. Pulling out his kunai, he tossed it only for the man to grunt in boredom as he merely caught the weapon and tossed it back, only to freeze to see Naruto gone. Where did that brat? He began before he stopped as he felt his instincts go off as he laid the flat of his blade on his back in time to block a stab from Naruto. Not bad kid, but not good enough. Naruto smirked as he gathered his aura once more. Sucking in some air, Naruto cried out his next technique. Whirlwind. He breathed out a big burst of wind that blew the man back as he slammed into the wall and blew the mist away a good bit. Not missing a beat, Naruto tossed out shurikens that pinned the man to the wall as he grunted in slight pain. I can't have any witnesses to me being here, Naruto thought as he pulled out another kunai only to be shocked by some laughing. He looked back to see the man pull the kunais out and that he was not even pinned like Naruto intially thought. You are not bad at all, kid, the man said as he stood up with his huge blade. To push me, a member of the 7 swordsmen of the mist, like this takes some considerable skill. What's you name, kid, so I know who it is I am adding to my kill count. You first, Naruto replied, trying to hide the fear he was feeling. This man just stood up like the blades in his body were not even there to begin with. Just like that Daisuke guy. What kind of monsters are walking in this world? The bulky man placed the blade on his shoulder, chuckling deeply at Naruto. Shows that you are either not from here or grossly ill-informed to not know who I am, he replied as he cracked his neck. My name is Zabuza Momochi, demon of the hidden mist. And who is the boy that I'll be sending to hell today? Gathering aura into his hands, Naruto clasped them together before pulling them apart. In between his hands, a blue staff formed before Naruto grabbed it and took a staff fighting stance taught to him by Lucario. This surprised Zabuza as he has never seen a jutsu like that one before. This brat is full of surprise, Zabuza thought as he tensed his body ready to strike at a moment's notice. Guess I should stop just playing with the brat, especially if he works for the enemy. No one is allowed past this point, child or not. You know the great thing about being in the village itself, brat. Naruto was confused by the question as he prepared himself. The abundance of water no matter where you are. Zabuza replied as he did one-handed seals. Water style. Water dragon jutsu. Water poured out from under the floor's cracks and formed a dragon made of water that rushed at Naruto. Not seeing enough space to completely dodge, Naruto reached out his hand releasing an aura dome around him. Protect. The dragon smashed into the dome, but the normal type move held strong, only gaining a few cracks into it. Before Naruto could let down the barrier, Zabuza appeared above him and swung his blade into the barrier. The cracks became worse as Naruto's sweating became worse as he tried his best to maintain his barrier. Twisting his body around, Zabuza swung his blade sideways in order to shatter the protect and cleave Naruto in two at the same time. Naruto, knowing he would not last if he stayed where he was, cancelled the protect and dodged the blade by jumping over it. This surprised Zabuza, which gave Naruto time to kick the swordsman's face and twisting his body to be behind him before he kicked off while gathering more fire aura. Flamethrower. Naruto cried as he released a stream of red, hot flames that encased Zabuza's body. Holding it for a few more seconds, Naruto cancelled it in order to conserve more of his energy. When the fire vanished, Naruto was shocked to find the man gone. Nothing was left, besides a puddle of water and his aura staff in the ground. Feeling his aura sense go off, Naruto quickly leaned to the side as a blade passed him by. He jumped backwards and did a handstand, a kick missing his legs. He pushed off in time to dodge another body-shattering blow, only to have his leg grabbed by an unharmed Zabuza. "Where do you think you're going, brat?" he said as he slammed Naruto into the ground. The force was enough to crack not only the ground, but a few bones. At least it felt like it to Naruto. Lifting up his prey to eye level, Zabuza prepared to cut Naruto in half. "You didn't do too bad, kid, but this game ends here." Zabuza didn't expect for Naruto to swing his body upwards and slam a glowing fist into his shoulder, screaming, "Rock smash." The shock of pain made Zabuza cry out in pain and drop Naruto. Ignoring the pain and exhaustion he was feeling, Naruto spun and landed on his feet before turning around. "Leaf blade." He cried as his right arm glowed green and he used it to slit the surprised Zabuza's throat. Naruto thought it was over as he felt the liquid touch his face and the body dropped, turning into a puddle of water. Naruto's eyes widened as he realized what just happened. A water clone. He cried out in shock. He looked down the misty halls to his opponent and leaned back in time to dodge another blade but had to roll to the side to dodge another from his back. He jumped back as his back hit the wall, pouring more aura to his aura sense and sight. He saw that there were 3 more Zabuzas as they stalked towards him. Naruto began gathering his aura and feeding his leaf blade, which made it stronger while gathering more into his lungs. Smokescreen. He blew out a thick cloud of black smoke that covered him and the clones, which caused the 3 water clones to have another coughing fit. Naruto rushed forward with a burst of speed thanks to the aura in his legs and swipe his green arm to kill one of the clones. This was not to be as he had to dodge a swing from the clone's giant blade and then dodge away as another clone tried to kick him. Then he backflipped as another clone made another attempt to cut him in two. When he landed, his eyes widened as another water dragon rushed his way. Activating his agility, Naruto dashed away from the attack in time and continued running. He ran towards his aura staff, but glared as a clone guarded the staff. Charging more aura to his legs, Naruto slid under the clone's blade swipe and grabbed his staff. Feeling the danger, Naruto turned around with his aura staff spread out in time to block Zabuza's blade, which was thrown at the cry of flying revolving sword, which made the staff crack and push him back. Twisting his body, Naruto let the bladder fly harmlessly by him. Feeling his aura warning him of more danger, he turned and tossed his cracked staff, which made the charging Zabuza stop and deflect the staff with ease. Before he could relax, Naruto followed his instincts and dodged in time as a blade was being swung towards him. Naruto landed on the roof of the hallway and stayed there with his chakra. He used his new position to jump off as a clone swung once more and landed on the wall. He continued to jump from wall to wall while activating his agility to give him time to try to gain more speed. Activating his leaf blade again, Naruto cut a clone, which made it grunt in pain. Sadly, it wasn't enough to dispel the clone. "Will you just vanish already?" Naruto yelled out as he made another swipe but had to twist his body back to dodge Zabuza's blade. Naruto rolled on the ground and jumped forward before Zabuza could kick him. "It's over now," one of the clones said as another clone appeared on either side of him. Both swung their huge blades towards Naruto, who quickly realized that their blades blocked any means of escape. "Protect won't help me here, so I will have to try this," he yelled mentally before calling upon aura to cover his body. "Double team," he said as Naruto vanished, surprising Zabuza as he thought he had a pretty good idea of Naruto's skillsets. This shock was only enhanced when more Narutos appeared around the hall. This shock gave way to annoyance as the Zabuzas felt insulted. "Do you really think these clones will help you against me?" one of the clones asked as he lifted his blade horizontally with one arm. "This childish move will do nothing for you besides annoy me," the other clone finished as the third prepared hand signs. Each double-team copy lifted their arms as they each activated cut and leaf blade on their left and right arm respectively. "Try this on for size then," Naruto replied as they all rushed around the hall, bouncing from wall to wall again. The water clones had a little trouble as Naruto and his copies kept vanishing upon each jump, making good use of their smaller size. The Zabuzas though kept on the defensive as they did their best to keep their eyes on the copies. Another slash appeared on Zabuza's side which made him grunt and the other almost lost its footing when it was hit on the back. The third Zabuza barely dodged in time as he jumped back and created more hand signs. He created another water dragon that rushed towards the area where Naruto was. Knowing he would be hit if he didn't do something, he turned on the ground and used his agility. He quickly ran down the hall to get away from the dragon that chased him down and eliminated his clones. No matter how much you run, it will chase you down and crush you, the clone stated with a dark chuckle but stopped when he heard hissing. They looked around and noticed they were surrounded by explosive notes that were already about to go off. That clever brat. He couldn't finish as the bombs went off, causing that part of the hull to crumble and destroying the water clones within the debris and explosion. Naruto continued to run as the water dragon closed in on him before he poured on the speed, vanishing completely and ending up in a clearing filled with different puddles of water. A few seconds after exiting the tunnel, the dragon burst from the tunnel and Naruto noticed it was vanishing. It lurched upward and completely dissipating from the lack of chakra feeding the jutsu. Naruto watched for a moment as the aura racing through his body began to settle. He began a light chuckle before it got louder before he burst into a happy, exhausted laughter. He went down to one knee but continued to laugh happily at his victory. That worked so well, he said in between deep breaths. The only issue is that I don't know where I am right now and I used a lot of my aura in that fight. I need to decrease the amount of time it takes to use my aura and chakra. For now, I need a quick rest, but why was I attacked like that? I found the area by accident, so I will need to be careful from here on. Walking towards one of the water pools, Naruto began drinking the water and splashing the cool liquid on his face. While cleaning the water from his eyes, he did not notice that the mist in the area began to thicken slowly. Standing up with the water dripping off him, his body stiffened as his aura warned him of danger and considering its track record, Naruto instinctively activated his protect as the dome appeared in time to deflect a now very familiar blade. This time, while it did deflect the blade to another direction, the blade shattered his protect which completely surprised Naruto. The result not only pushed Naruto into the water, but it drained his stamina a good chunk. Moves that use a constant flow of aura to maintain like protect, when it gets destroyed will take a huge chunk of his aura as it lost its source that fed on it. This causes a slip of control for a split moment. Lifting his body out, Naruto coughed water out his tiny lungs as he took a big gulp of air. Realizing just how heavy he felt, Naruto looked at the water which felt like weights to him as it was hard for him to move. Why does this water feel so heavy? Naruto thought to himself. Before he could do anything else, he felt a presence appear suddenly behind him. It's over for you. The presence, which turned out to be Zabuza, said as he finished a set of hand signs. Water style. Water prison jutsu. Water swirled around Naruto before he could react and trapped Naruto in a huge orb of it. What is this? Naruto cried out. He could feel the was so heavy that it prevented any major movement of his body. Why can't barely lift my arms? There is no escaping this prison unless I let you, brat, Zabuza stated, his hand in the water to keep it stable. The prison isn't just water, but water manipulated by pure chakra which these pools of water were saturated in. Naruto was shocked as he tried to make a few more attempts to move, but quickly realized that it was a wasted effort. And before you try that seal-less clone jutsu of yours, Zabuza said as a few more water clones of Zabuza appeared from the water pool they were in. 4 Zabuzas, complete with their signature blade, at the ready. I need to get free and summon the others, Naruto thought as he got nervous from the glaring shinobi. Problem is getting an opening to do it. Day 2 and I am captured by the enemy. What a great ninja you turned out to be, Naruto. Don't worry so much, Zabuza said in a fake caring tone as more shinobis appeared in the area. As long as you cooperate nicely then you won't be hurt too badly. Try any funny business, then I can't promise you anything but death. Either way work for me to be honest as I haven't killed in a few days and I have been itching for blood. Naruto didn't say anything as he knew he was screwed at this point in time. If he could escape he would have to face several shinobi of unknown strength levels ready to kill him. Not to mention more water clones that he was already having trouble fighting against along with the original who was in a completely different league of his own. In the end, Naruto knew he had to submit and wait for an opportunity until he can get away and continue his mission. We are going to have to move Zabuza, a man with an eye patch and a very strange hairstyle. That explosion most definitely got everyone's attention and it's only a matter of time before they head over here. Our men are creating a diversion so we have time to escape. Well then kid, looks like you are coming with us as I can't have you walking around, Zabuza said. Aoi, slap a suppression seal on the brat so we don't have to worry about any fancy tricks. The now named Aoi pulled out a tag that had the kanji for suppression on it as Zabuza glared at Naruto. If you try anything, I promise it will be the last thing that you ever do. Quickly Naruto felt the water drop back into the pool below him. Before he could hit the water too, he felt Zabuza's arm wrap around his neck and the other hold him in place which kept him in place. Aoi tagged Naruto with the suppression seal which glowed as the writing spread to his arms, legs, and face. Naruto instantly felt his body go slack as his chakra flow nearly stopped. He even felt his aura almost completely stop flowing, though it was better off than his chakra. This sudden fatigue caused him to go unconscious. Gripping his prisoner tightly, Zabuza looked to Aoi and nodded. Good, now let's get going to May before other shinobi appear and gives us trouble, he said as he got a nod from the man. Zabuza, along with his prisoner, vanished in a shunsen. Naruto groaned as he woke up, his body stiff and aching at the slightest movement. Ignoring the stiff pain, Naruto craned his neck to crack it as he stretched his body. This moment of peace broke as he opened his eyes in shock, remembering what transpired before his abrupt slumber. Shooting to his feet, Naruto observed his surroundings which was a damp jail cell with metal clamps on the walls. The cell let in little light and the draft from the tiny window sent chills down his body. He looked down to find his weapons gone and the only clothing he had was his pants. Along his body was the same black markings from the suppression seal that he was tagged with during his capture. So it seems that you have woken up, a man's voice spoke out from the nearby door which gained the young boy's attention. Naruto looked towards the location and saw that it was Aoi, the same man who put the seals on him. He had his arms crossed over his chest as he gave Naruto a serious expression. As usual protocol, we couldn't have you know of one of our hidden bases so we had to be sure you were unconscious. The red blonde did not say anything in response as he analyzed the area, trying to figure out a way to escape. Any way he could take advantage to squeeze his way to freedom. Now here's what's going to happen, Aoi said with his uncovered eye narrowing at him. I'm going to ask you questions and you will answer them. Staring with this one, what is your name and rank? Naruto kept quiet trying to figure out why exactly he was being interrogated for. After a while, Naruto decided to answer his capturer as to not make things worse for himself. My name is Naruto and I am an academy student. Don't play with me, child. Aoi said in an angry tone as he released some of his killing intent which only served to bore Naruto. The abilities that you have apparently shown are too much for a simple academy-level student. If you wish to lie to me then we have other, more extreme methods to get an answer out of you. Seriously, all this trouble over some brat. Back in my day, kids trained and stayed out of the way until they were ready. Shut up One Eye. Naruto yelled out feeling insulted. I do train and I train very hard. You guys are the ones that attacked me first while I simply was exploring since I'm rarely on this side of town. I train really hard so I can protect myself, no more or less. While exploring, that Zabuza guy attacked me out of nowhere so excuse me for defending myself because I didn't want to die. He used his real annoyed and angered emotion at the situation he was in to help sell his little lie. And with your training, you were able to do justice with no hand signs, a woman's voice spoke out getting both of the males' attention. Naruto had to do his best to fight back the blush that appears on his face at how beautiful the woman that walked into the room was. She was a tall, slender woman with beautiful green eyes and ankle-length, auburn hair. The hair was styled in a herringbone pattern at the back, a top knot with a dark blue band, and with 4 bangs at the front. 2 were short, with one covering her right eye and the other 2 were long, crossing each other over her impressive bust. She wore a long-sleeved, dark blue dress that falls just below her knees. The dresses left an opening unzipped on her left side, which showed off her legs. The dress only covered the underside of her breast and the upper part of her arms. She had a skirt on, the same dark blue as her dress, which revealed she mesh leggings reaching down over her exposed knees. A belt was on her waist that Naruto assumed had her ninja weapons inside. On her feet were high-heeled sandals and shin guards reaching up over her knees. To Naruto, she was both beautiful and dangerous. The feeling she gave, which Naruto guessed was her aura leaking, told Naruto that she was leagues above him in power. Lady May, you don't have to waste your times on these types, Ao said in a respectful yet urgent tone. Let me deal with these purging scum. I will get the information we need about Yagura's inner sanctum, even if I have to do it. The thing is Ao, I don't think you will get anything out of this young man, May replied as she put a hand on her left hip. From what I can tell, this boy has absolutely no information on Yagura's military because he's not from the hidden mist. A smirk made its way on her face as she looked their young captive in the eyes. Isn't that right, Naruto? This made Naruto's eyes widen in complete shock at how the women figured it out so fast. This only asked for a split second, but that was all the women needed to confirm her statement. Her smirk widening at their prisoner, Ao couldn't hide his displeasure at the information. Lady May, are you saying that he is a spy? Ao questioned as he glared at Naruto while grabbing a kunai. May only gave Ao a side glance before returning her gaze onto Naruto. If he was, then he is a bad one due to not only gaining our suspicion, but that of the mist Anbu as well, she said, surprising Naruto once more. You didn't really think that you got away from shinobi that were trained in stealth and infiltration. You were lucky that your young age made them not consider you a threat. Unlucky for you, you were found by my ninja and they don't forget a face. Well, since you know that I am not working for this Yagura guy, Naruto said as he stared his heterochromic eyes into her green eyes. Just let me go and I'll be on my way. You see, that is where we have an issue, May replied, confusing the young guardian. Seeing his confusion, May explained. Whether you meant it or not, your fight with Zabuza alerted Yagura's shinobi about one of our secret camp spots. That not only made us lose a strategic position in this civil war, but I lost quite a bit of shinobi who held back Yagura's forces who charged the area. I can't simply let you go after losing so much because of you. That was not my guilt. How was I supposed to know that you guys were hiding in that area along with the fact that I was attacked first? Not only that, but I could not find them at all at first with Aura Sense. While that is true and unfortunate, you will learn that life isn't exactly fair either. Due to the current actions taken, many lives were lost and work had been compromised. Due to your actions, we will be watched more thoroughly by the Mist Anbu and it will make things harder for us. This of course will lead to more lives being lost. In the end, we are more at a loss than you are. Then what do you want from me? Naruto questioned with worry since he did not like where this was going. What exactly are you trying to tell me here? You are quite a smart boy for your age, May replied with a slight giggle from how amused she was. From what I was told by Zabuza, after I tore into him for the incident of attacking you instead of observing if you were even a threat, you have quite the impressive set of abilities. If what he said is to be believed, you were able to do all sets of jutsus without the use of hand signs. This just goes to show how skilled you are in the different techniques provided to you. Plus, I was told some interesting information that left me with quite the interest in you. What was that? Naruto asked as he thought over anything significant that could help him get out if this whole thing alive. Then I guess I'll be frank with my question, May said as she looked Naruto in the eyes. Do you possess a bloodline limit? Of all conclusions for her to make, he was not expecting that one. Why do you think something like that? As you are aware by now, we are in a civil war against our Mizukage, Yagura, who started a complete massacre of anyone possessing a bloodline. This massacre led to a lot of different clans being wiped out for no reason at all. Those loyal to the third Mizukage lead these unwarranted killings with pure joy or loyalty. I lead a resistance to stop this senseless slaughter after my parents were killed by Kiri Anbu in a public execution. I barely escaped with my life during this incident. If you are in possession of a bloodline, then Yagura's men will be all over you in moments. While it won't make as much of a difference over the lost lives, we could use all the help we could get and you are shown to be skilled if what Zabuza said is true. So to help make up for the problems you helped cause, you will join the resistance. Lady May, are you sure that is a wise decision? Ao called out in shock, unable to keep his composure. Sure, he was skilled and all, but he could still be a threat to us, child or not. And if that isn't enough, his age could be a hindrance to us. He may not be old enough to be a use to us and may cause us to waste resources and lives being lost. Ow! This boy was able to take on the likes of Zabuza with simple-looking techniques, May replied with absolute certainty. Not only that, but our sensors are telling us that he barely used any chakra for any of those jutsu techniques that was explained to us. Trust me, he could be useful to us. Who said that I was joining you? Naruto yelled indignantly. I had no plan to join some war that I am not a part of. I have things that I need to do no matter what. Naruto was going to continue until he paused as he felt the increase of density in the area. May raised not only her killing intent, but her powerful and dense chakra to show how serious she was. Naruto didn't care about the killing intent, but the powerful chakra was enough to silence him as he could feel the cage level of chakra wafting through the air. In that case, May replied with a completely serious look in her eyes. We will just take your life to make up for the ones lost during the escape. It isn't completely ideal, but we will make do. Naruto began sweating as he knew that his mission would be a complete failure if he were to die here. Ralts will be lost, dead or worse. You're right, Naruto sighed as the chakra died down. I'm sorry and I'll help you guys as best as I can. Or at the very least until I get Ralts. May's smile widened as her eyes became much kinder. I am glad that we have an understanding, Naruto. Ow, let him out but keep the seals on until we are sure he is not going to try and run off. Aoi, though not completely agreeing with his leader's order, nodded his head as he unlocked and opened Naruto's jail cell and let the red-tipped blonde out. As Naruto walked out, he kept his gaze on his two captors. He didn't trust them given that they are forcing him to join their resistance. As they walked out, Naruto looked down the halls and looked into the different cells that lined the way. Only two had other prisoners, but they were unconscious. As they walked out, Naruto was blinded by the sudden burst of light that hit his eyes, making him hide his eyes away for a moment. Naruto quickly took note how few shinobis were in the area as he had expected there to be a ton of shinobis to guard a prison. Then he remembered that there were so few prisoners but he was the only one to awaken. What's the use on wasting a huge defensive force to guard against two shinobis and a child, I wonder, he thought to himself. Well, first we are going to get you integrated in one of our bases, May replied as she flashed her chakra for a brief moment. Before Naruto could ask her on what she was planning, a swirl of water caught his attention. From the swirl of water appeared Zabuza Momochi and another young man with white hair and sharp teeth with a small tanto on his left hip. He was around the same relative age as Naruto himself, but about a head taller than he was. He was thin but lean with small and lean muscles. He wore a tan, sleeveless shirt and brown jeans with blue shinobi sandals to finish the look. He also didn't have a shinobi pouch on his person which surprised him. What is it you need, May? Zabuza asked with his arms before he smirked at the sight of Naruto. Are we going to kill the brat because I wouldn't mind a fight to the death with him before we do. His fight made me curious about what he can really do. Naruto glared at the swordsman, not seeing the young boy looking at him curiously. So this is the boy Zabuza spoke about, huh? He thought to himself as he looked the Uzumaki over. He doesn't look so tough to me. I bet I can take him on, no sweat. He is going to help us in our fight against Yagura to make up for the whole incident, the beautiful woman responded as she put a hand on his shoulder. I actually wanted Naruto here to face you in a sparring match so I may gauge his skill level with my own two eyes. I'll be more than happy to crush the brat a second time, Zabuza replied with a bloodthirsty look in his eyes and what Naruto assumed was a smirk. Actually, sensei, I would like to be the one to face him, the boy said as he walked up with an excited and arrogant smirk. He might be weaker than me, but it would be nice to have a little one to watch over. He chuckled at the end of it. This only annoyed Naruto but he was stopped before he could say anything when May giggled. That's fine by me, plus it will allow me to see your growth under Zabuza, Suigetsu. Well then, let's get going. Aoi, I'll leave the clean up here to you and Makoto and Setsi. It will be done, Lady May, he replied as two other mist shinobi appeared behind him. I encourage you all to be careful around that boy. Mei giggled as she tightened her grip on Naruto and smiled warmly to show that she had it handled. You all stay safe and return to us alive. Let's go Zabuza, Suigetsu. The three mist shinobi and Naruto all vanished in a body flicker. Hidden camp. In a swirl of water, they all appeared and were quickly surrounded by shinobi with their weapons drawn. Naruto tensed up, ready to fight should he need to, forgetting he couldn't use his aura or chakra at the moment. But it was not needed when Mei handled the situation. Even the silent waters can hold a deadly story by those with special blood, Mei said, making them pause as a young man with a strangely shaped sword wrapped in white bandages walked forward. What stories do they tell? He asked in a tense, yet shy tone and stiffened body. Stories of the tainted versus the pure, Zabuza replies with an uncaring tone. The young boy gave a slight bow to the taller women, refusing to look her in the eyes. It's great to see you back safely, Lady Mei. I hope things went well with the prisoners in the hollow prisons. Yes, it did, Chojuro, Mei replied with a caring smile which caused the young man to blush in embarrassment. It went so well in fact, that we may have a very skilled ally join our ranks. Am I correct to assume that is the boy? The now named Chojuro asked in curiosity. His response was a nod from the beautiful woman. He looked Naruto over, trying to see anything that can show him why a boy so young and among them originally, would join them. Needless to say that he did not see anything. I know what you're thinking, Chojuro, Zabuza said, getting the young swordsman's attention. The brat here doesn't seem like much at first glance, but he definitely has some interesting skills to him. He will spar against the water brat over here so you will be able to see if he is of any use. Chojuro looked towards Mei who nodded, approving of the idea. That is fine, but may I request that I bring along my student as this spar will be between people of around the same ages, so this may be of some use to her to see fighters going at it. If at the very least, show her what not to do in a fight. Mei agreed while Zabuza just shrugged nonchalantly. Meet us by Lake Mare in a few minutes so the evaluation can begin. Be late and we will start without you, Mei said. Chojuro yelped and vanished in a swirl of water, hoping to find his young student quickly. Seeing the other shinobi chuckle lightly, Mei giggled at her meek shinobi before telling the others to disperse. Why didn't we just go straight to the battleground? Naruto asked finally. That could have avoided all of this. Well, against our policy to appear anywhere except designated areas, she replied with a serious expression. You should keep in mind that we will kill first before wasting time as we do have to worry about spies. Naruto nodded, knowing he wasn't at liberty to argue. Good, now let's go. With that they all jumped about the different buildings, though Naruto was being carried held by the collar of his shirt by Zabuza. It only took the group about 2 minutes to reach a large lake with a few spiked pillars sticking out it. The lake even had a few ships that were destroyed in its waters. Made Naruto wonder how many were under the lake itself. Standing by the lake was Chojuro and a girl that Naruto has yet to meet. She wore a short-sleeved black shirt with purple stripes along with long black pants that ended just above her ankles. On her arms and legs was fishnet armor, traditional ninja garb just like her light purple, shinobi sandals. Her purple hair was tied up in a spiky ponytail, that reminded Naruto of Shikamaru, by a gold band. Around her neck was a long pink scarf. On her waist was 2 kunai pouches on either side of her, making her ambidextrous. Good to see you found young Janine so quickly, Mei said in genuine surprise. It's good to see you, Janine. Janine gave Mei a wide smile as her purple eyes sparkled in joy at her. It's great to see you too, Lady Mei. And her Suigetsu, good to that you didn't get yourself killed while you were out. She shot a teasing smirk that Naruto found to be kind of cute. Seeing Naruto there, she looked confused before looking back at Mei. So who's the new cute guy? This, cute boy, is the one that is going to spar against Suigetsu, Mei replied with a smirk, always loving how forward Janine was with her interests. He faced several of Zabuza's water clones and won. I wanted to see if it was skill or pure dumb luck. Either way, he could prove himself useful to us. Janine looked surprised before looking at Naruto with interest. Cute and strong, Janine said with no hidden intrigue. You're hitting all the right buttons so far, cutie. Don't disappoint me now. This made Naruto blush as this has been the most to-the-point girl he has ever met. The fact that she was attractive in his eyes only made his blush brighter. Okay, enough of all that, Suigetsu interrupted, getting everyone's attention. Can we get this spar started so I can rid myself of this 3-day boredom of no action? Mei agreed as she made a quick ram seal and cried, release. As soon as she said that, Naruto felt not only his chakra flow return to its quick pace, but also his aura returned full power. Naruto began stretching his back and legs, getting the stiff feeling to leave his body from being so restricted. You could actually hear some of his bones crack as he twisted his hips back and forth. This feels so much better, he sighed in relief. Remind me to never have one of those annoying seals on me ever again. Naruto stood across from Suigetsu, who only smirked confidently at him, and it kind of annoyed him that he was being seen as a non-threat. Alright, you two, I want you boys to fight like you are trying to survive, Mei said as she looked to the two fighters. Me and Zabuza will stop the fight if we need to. All in all, go all out boys. Now begin. Everyone besides Naruto and Suigetsu moved out of the way. Naruto tensed his body as he looked Suigetsu over, analyzing his opponent as best as he could. A Tonto, but looks standard on his left hip, making him possibly left-handed. He has pretty strong muscles, so a heavy hitter, but they are lean like a Hitmonlee's, so definitely speedy. He's taller than me, so that gives him an edge in reach. His train of thought was interrupted when Suigetsu called out to him. So, are you going to just stand there and stare at me? Suigetsu taunted. I know I'm good looking and all, but I don't swing that way at all. This made tick marks bulge on Naruto's head before he decided on the fighting style to begin with. Naruto took the speed boxing stance taught to him by the Hitmonahan clan. A few charged forward with his fists clenched. Using only a bit of his aura to augment his speed to help him clear the distance rather quickly. While the speed impressed Suigetsu, it wasn't anything new to him, so he was able to block the punches thrown his way before striking with one of his own. Naruto was able to easily dodge with a spin, but he stuck out his fist, hoping to connect with his face. Suigetsu ducked under the fist and grabbed Naruto's arm and pulled the blonde forward before striking his side with a powerful kick that sent Naruto tumbling. He rushed forward hoping to stomp Naruto into the ground, but missed as Naruto used his hand to move out of the way. Using what was taught to him by the Hitmontops, he spun on his hands and slammed his kick into him. Naruto did not expect for his foot to go right through Suigetsu, and for a moment he thought it was a water clone. This thought was dashed when the water reformed back towards Suigetsu and hardened back into his opponent. This lapse in attention left Naruto open for Suigetsu to slam his elbow into his chest, which knocked the air out of him. This sent the red blonde boy flying back as some spit left his lips. Gritting his teeth from his pain, Naruto leaned back and flipped until he landed on his feet. He skid on the damp soil and easily regained his footing. What was that? Naruto cried out as he glared at Suigetsu, who was still smirking at him. I know for a fact that I hit you with my attack, so how is it that I just went through you like that? It's my clan's bloodline that allows us to turn our body into water itself, Suigetsu explained with a grin. In other words, your conventional means of attack will do nothing to me. He then charged at Naruto, enjoying messing with him. Naruto focused on him and easily dodged Suigetsu's strikes, ducking and weaving strike after strike. It was clear to everyone watching that Naruto had much better taijutsu skills than Suigetsu. The red blonde kicked off the surprised boy's chest as he gained a bit of distance. He also used aura to add more strength to the kick, which sent Suigetsu flying back. As Naruto landed, he thought over what just happened. So his ability isn't automatic, it has to be activated, he thought as he gathered aura to his hands. That makes this a bit simpler for me to gain an upper hand. Naruto used his aura to create another aura staff and taking a fighting stance. This one was different than the one he used against Zabuza, as it laid across his back as his right hand held it and his left laid forward. His legs were apart to the point he was almost doing a split. This is a stance similar to the third Hokage's with slight modifications. Suigetsu smirked as he pulled his standard blade with a toothy grin. Let's go then, kid. He charged at Naruto, excited to cut into him. Naruto easily dodged the blade strikes, not at all bothered by how close the blade was to him. Seeing an opening, Naruto struck the staff into Suigetsu's side, which caused him to cry in pain. With a spin, Naruto sent the boy away with a swing to his gut. So he has no skill in keeping up with his water body skill. His blade strikes, and my staff, Naruto thought in amusement. Suigetsu glared angrily at Naruto, not at all happy by how he was being handled. Don't get all cocky just because you got a lucky hit in. Using a hand sign, the lake bubbled before it shot up and rushed towards Naruto. Water style. Water dragon jutsu. While surprised by the fact that no hand signs were used by his opponent, but he recovered quickly. Seeing that there was not nearly enough power to match Zabuza's earlier one, meaning he can handle it. Gathering air and aura in his lungs once more, he breathed out his attack. Whirlwind, he cried out as the powerful blast of wind met the dragon. While not canceling it, it was enough to push the water jutsu a completely different direction. So, you can use techniques without handling, Suigetsu said in a nonchalant tone as he charged at Naruto, who jumped around Suigetsu's strikes. He swung at Naruto's neck, which only went through it because of the water body. This was remedied when they reconnected almost instantly. The white-haired boy began swinging his blade but paused when Naruto stabbed the staff into the ground between them. Using this, Naruto spun and hit Suigetsu in the jaw with an aura-infused kick. Opting not to waste this opportunity, Naruto held himself upside down on the staff and fired. Flamethrower. The stream of flames rushed at the recovering Suigetsu. Using the chakra he gathered in his mouth, Suigetsu used his water style, water bullet. This was a massive version of the original jutsu, allowed for a more destructive outcome. The jutsu becomes more explosive compared to its original purpose, which was to pierce its target. The two opposite elements collided in an explosive steam that covered the area more. Suigetsu quickly brought his blade up, not being able to see through the steam as easy as his teacher. What he didn't expect was a blonde blur to slam right into his gut, causing him to spittle in pain. The pain was massive as he couldn't even focus enough to use his water body technique. Naruto smirked as his combination of quick attack and rock smash had worked well. And now he had him in close and try out the move he learned from the electric-type Pokémon. Channeling the aura in his body, he grabbed Suigetsu's face and cried out, "Spark!" A light amount of yellow electricity channeled through Naruto's body and shocked Suigetsu, making the boy cry out in pain. Naruto only had 3 electric moves under his belt, with Spark being the weakest damaging one. Naruto could have used it in his fight with Zabuza while in the prison, but the backlash of being soaked would have hurt him too. Plus, having been surrounded by enemies, wounded, and already wasted so much aura put him in a bad spot. Hearing the cries die down, Naruto stopped and let Suigetsu go. The boy simply dropped to the floor, completely unconscious. The downside of having the water body technique made his family extremely weak to all lightning-based moves. This make them do a bit more damage than a normal shinobi. Yes, most impressive Naruto, Mei said as she smiled at Naruto. To be able to take Suigetsu so easily is impressive given his skill set. Yeah, but he's more of a Russian fighter than a tactical one, Zabuza said as he lightly kicked the unconscious Suigetsu. That entire fight him easy for the blonde brat to take control since he isn't as stupid and rash as he was. We have a long way to go before he could be anywhere near his brother Mugetsu's skill level. Yes, but Naruto here did splendidly, Mei said with a huge smile towards Naruto that made blush. You were quite impressive out there, as you have definitely shown skill and cunning throughout your fight. I was hoping to see you being pushed more, but to be able to take out Suigetsu there so quickly shows you is quite capable. After all, he is one of our best young fighters, right next to Janine here. The said girl rubbed the back of her head in embarrassment before looking at Naruto in excitement. You were amazing out there for taking out Wet Head down here so easily. You and I are going to get along just fine, darling. Naruto blushed as he stared at the smirking girl. Just what is happening with my life? Konoha. At the Namikaze home, the twin sisters of Naruto were training hard by having a spar against their godfather Jiraiya. Jiraiya was a relatively tall man with long white, spiky hair that was tied in a ponytail and 2 shoulder-length bangs framing his face. Speaking of, there were 2 red lines under his eyes that went down to his chin. He possessed wrinkles on the sides of his mouth and a wart on the left side of his nose. He wore a green short shirt kimono and matching pants, under which was mesh armor that became visible around his wrist and ankles. He also wore hand guards, a black belt, and wooden sandals along with a red hari with 2 yellow circles on each side. He had a forehead protector that was horned with the kanji for oil. The older man just dodged a kick from Mito, who jumped and tried an axe kick that he just grabbed. Before he could try anything though, he let go and jumped back as several shurikens were thrown at his hand and arm. He blocked a punch from above that Nami aimed at him. A spin turned to a spin kick aimed at his head. Jiraiya ducked under the kick and he quickly used his knees to block a kick from Mito. "You two are going to have to do much better than this if you're going to win our bet," the Toad Sannin said with amusement as he pushed Mito back and pulled a shocked Nami down. He then kicked her in the gut, which sent her into her sister. "Come on girls, you have to try harder to beat the great Toad Sage, Jiraiya." "Annoying, pervy old man," Nami mumbled as she got up and pulled out her kunais. "I'm going to enjoy wiping that down smirk off your face. Plus watching you squirm from no longer being able to work on your pervy books for a week," Mito said as she got into her stance. "Is going to be oh so satisfying. You two are so mean to your godfather," Jiraiya whined as he began dodging the punches and kicks thrown by Mito, who while skilled, was still way below his skill level. He easily blocked 2 kunais thrown his way, knocking them into the air. Catching a very thin glint, he smirked as he prepared to jump back. This was stopped when 2 windmill shurikens began encircling him. Before he was stopped again when Mito started attacking him. He blocked her punches and kicks, before Mito used his arms to jump away. The red-haired Nami smirked before she pulled her arms back. Thin strands began wrapping and tightening around Jiraiya, trapping him in place. "Trap success, get him Mito," Nami yelled, gripping the wire tightly to hold her godfather in place. Mito rushed at Jiraiya at a high speed, her fist rearing back as he got close. "I got you now, pervy old man," the ponytailed girl said as she swung her fist. Jiraiya ducked under the punch and used a spin kick to Mito's right rib that sent her flying. He then jumped back and pulled Nami with him. He stopped moving and when she got in close, he kicked the young girl in the gut, which made her drop to the floor. As fun as this taijutsu spar has been, Jiraiya began as he pulled out a kunai and used it to cut through the wires. "But it would be best if you take 5 so we could get to training and learning some new techniques." The 2 downed girls groaned and nodded, annoyed by the fact that their godfather beat them with minimal effort. Though it wasn't too surprising since he was a Sannin. As this went on, sitting on the tree branch was a Zoroark named Nima who was disguised as Naruto. He also used his illusions to hide his body away, making it look like he wasn't there at all. "To be honest," he said as he gazed at them getting up. "They are definitely strong for their age and I can see that they will be something when they grow. In the end though, they are way behind Naruto in strength. The only thing keeping Naruto in his position, is his own confidence. He limits himself every single time because of his own mental limitations. He can be serious, but his true power stays hidden because of his hidden fears. I wonder what he will unleash when the little kid will finally get past it." Zoroark jumped from the tree he was in, onto the roof and made his way into Naruto's room through the window. Using his sense of smell, Zoroark found no one to be inside the house except for Minato and Kushina. This in mind, he quickly and quietly made his way through the house, with the intent to get some food due to his growing hunger. He didn't feel like dealing with the parents, hence why he wanted to keep himself hidden. As he passed the parent room, he paused as he heard the crying voice of Kushina. Curious, he quietly made his way inside as he sat and watched Minato console his wife. He was honestly curious at what was going on, though he could hazard a pretty good guess. "What are we going to do, Minato?" Kushina sobbed. "You keep telling me things will be alright, but how can you honestly believe of say that? Naruto won't even give us the time of day, nor does he stay around us long enough for us to talk with him." "He is young, Kushina," Minato replied as he held his wife. "He's angry now, but if we continue to do our best to show we care then we should be alright." "Minato, how can we do that when he won't let us near him?" Kushina countered as she looked at her husband with tear-stained cheeks. "We should have just trained him for Anbu or something. Instead we chose our daughters because of some stupid chances and potential." It wasn't like it was meant to be that way, Kushina. With the leaps and bounds Nami and Mito were making in their training, then we had to help them mold it. Not to mention that Mito and Nami had the power of the Nine Tails in their position, a being whose only with half of its power could destroy the world without any supervision. We have to make sure that they don't accidentally use that power and destroy everything around them by accident. But Minato, we need Naruto to be part of the family again. I need to hold my son in my arms again. Kushina, you know what we were preparing them for. I'm not justifying ignoring Naruto, but you know his is still out there and the reason for our actions is to be ready for him. The moment Minato said that, Zoroark instantly became more interested. He noticed that the fourth Hokage of Konoha actually seemed to be worried about someone attacking them. Just who was it that the Yellow Flash and the one to beat the Nine Tails was so afraid of? This fear also seems to be what plays a major role in the reasoning that they focus so much on the girls and so little on Naruto. That masked man is still out there, biding his time to cause more chaos than he did that day. He will do whatever it takes to gain possession of the Nine Tails from the girls. We will need them to be ready to face him should it come down to it and he attacks with a bigger force than he did originally. Plus with Jiraiya Sensei's information of the Akatsuki, things have only escalated. With both having clan heir status, the Hokage's children, and the village Jinchuriki will put them under complete village protection and be a very powerful deterrent against other villages. They needed the extra training to be ready to face the future turmoil that they will endure and be strong enough to stand proud. But at what cost, Minato? We practically lost our son who won't even look our direction, and if he does it's with apathy at best, disdain at worst. You know as well as I do that Naruto saw the papers naming Mito and Nami as clan heirs to our respective families, and we just let him be so that way he could calm down instead of going straight to him. Instead of being there to comfort him and explain, we let him try to figure it out and stew in his pain. Another check to our neglect of Naruto. Kushina burst into tears once more, crying at the constant pain that they continued to cause their child. Minato was at a loss for words as he held his despairing wife as close to him as he possibly could. They made a lot of mistakes in handling this, in handling Naruto, and now they have a lot of making up to do for it, something they both knew. That's if Naruto will even let them in the first place. Nima shook his head at the plan the two humans before him seemed to have had concocted. While he could tell they had good intentions, they let their worries get the better of them and cloud their judgment. This led to Naruto being hurt for the greater good, and now he has limits on his own growth because of them. He could see their point, but it wasn't worth it in the end in his opinion. They essentially shattered the confidence and self-worth of a young boy who had his potential nearly snuffed out, by his loved ones no less. To make it worse, he thought as he watched the parents comfort each other. They, without even realizing it, left Naruto to be made as a sacrifice to the world. He is still a child of the fourth Hokage and the Jinchuriki of the very body of the Nine Tails, which will make a target still. I feel like there is more to it, but it seems I won't get the rest of it today as they are too busy holding one another. Either way, I don't completely agree with their choices, but I get why they made them. I wonder how Lady Arceus will take it, or worse, Naruto himself. Seeing he got all he would get at the moment, Nima got up and left the room completely undetected. As long as he didn't do anything too crazy, then we was sure the distraught parents would not be able to find him. Foregoing his hunger and hunt for food, Nima went to the bathroom and locked the door. Sending his aura into the mirror, he waited until the portal appeared as he quickly entered through. Reverse world. Nima appeared by a glacier of ice as he looked upwards to find his masters floating there, staring him down. Why have you returned already, Nima? Giratina questioned before a light surrounded the Naruto before them and the bipedal fox took its place. Next to the Lord of the Distortion World was Arceus, who looked at the Zoroark with a gentle yet curious gaze. Nima felt calmer from Arceus's gaze when compared to Giratina's. He also took note of Naruto's three partners, Zorua, Eevee, and Riolu, standing under the two powerful deities. I have acquired some interesting information regarding the night that Naruto came to us and about his life in general. Nima bowed as he spoke to them, getting their full attention. Nima went on to explain all that he has learned from spying on Minato and Kushina. From how they were afraid of this masked man person, how they were trying to protect their daughters and the Nine Tails, the reason that they forgot Naruto as they proceeded in preparing the bearers of the Nine Tails' power, anything he recalled from them was brought up. Riolu and Zora looked sad and disappointed at the reasoning of Naruto's parents. Evie actually looked upset, not liking the reasons at all that they hurt her friend and partner. As one would expect, Giratina looked enraged at the reasons as his killing intent spiked high. The area began to shake as his powerful aura began to raise and make itself visible around his body. All the surrounding Pokémon and even miles away, besides for Arceus herself, dropped to their knees as they began to sweat and were having a hard time finding their breath. Arceus released her own power in response and it quickly blanketed the entire area and quenched Giratina's own power with relative ease. The energy was enough to make Giratina back down and calm himself down in submission. Arceus's was not only powerful but calming. Enough so, that it aided Giratina in calming himself down and relaxing the surrounding Pokémon. While what happened is unfortunate, the past has its stories to tell, Arceus said as she lowered her power back down as the other Pokémon were able to stand back up. It also lets us look into the mindset of our chosen's parents. To know that there is a mortal out there that makes the fourth Hokage and the Red Reaper of Konoha fearful is quite worrisome. Not to mention that the unknowns have shown me a prophecy after they connecting with the dimension's core energy and seen its futures and past. A prophecy? Giratina asked. You didn't tell me that the unknowns have discovered anything. What did they speak of? The prophecy was given to me this morning actually, so no time to hold a meeting to alert you all. According to the prophecy, it speaks of a child that either bring peace or destruction to the world. It would seem someone will bring peace with extraordinary power within them, which could honestly mean a lot of things. Do you think it could be Naruto then? Nima asked. He fits the bill pretty well, especially the power within thing. It could be his aura or even just his immense potential. Let's not forget that he technically still does have the Nine Tails sealed inside himself. We also can't forget that Naruto's sisters also fit the bill as well, Arceus replied. They have a high amount of untapped potential, born of two powerful forces, and also contain the yin and yang chakra of the Kyuubi. Honestly, the prophecy could go to any one of the three children. It's best to be prepared and have Naruto ready in case it speaks of him. Everyone nodded and agreed with her as they would do anything to help their friend Naruto. They wanted to be sure that they will be ready to fight alongside him whenever it's needed. Nima, would you do me a favor and return back to Naruto's realm and keep things in check? Also keep your ears open, as I have a feeling that his so-called godfather might know a bit more as well. Giratina, can you gather the others and have them meet at the Hall of Origins for a meeting? I need to have a quick chat with the unknown again to gain more information. You three will await Naruto's call should he still need you assistance on his mission. All the Pokémon addressed gave about their separate orders. At once, Lady Arceus. They all left, Giratina creating a portal for the Zoroark, to do as told. Zorua, Eevee, and Riolu went off to look for any emergency supplies should it be needed. Arceus stood tall as she created her own portal. If a prophecy was made including this world's balance, then what is on the way that is so dangerous? Hopefully the unknown can detect it a bit more. Arceus then vanished in a stream of light, intending on trying to see if any more information was discovered by her loyal messenger and catalogers. Whatever was on the way, Arceus will make sure that everyone is ready to face. Just like in their original dimension. 2 weeks later Kirigakure. Naruto was hidden in the shadows of a rundown sector of Akiri Ghetto, broken down buildings and all. He was laying on the ground, wearing a dark blue hoodie with the hoodie on his head. He watched as a caravan was being led by several Kiri shinobi. Activating his aura sight, Naruto took notice of the several different aura signatures within the big caravan. Looking up, he found several above-average auras watching the caravan. Putting a finger to a small radio receiver in his ear, he whispered into it. This is N, reporting in. We have a confirmed 12 prisoners with 26 shinobi, including 5 confirmed hidden Anbu on the rooftops. Only one of them is hiding in a nearby building 2 clicks to the left from your location J. S is reporting within the lake, ready to strike when given the order. Can't wait to sink my fangs into them. This is J, moving in to take out the hidden target and release my toxins on him. Just give the order and the Anbu is going down. Good you three, just stay steady as we will make our move on my signal. Soon the mist began to thicken slightly as from behind a building, walked out Zabuza with his Kubirikocho on his back. He was in his Kiri Anbu attire. The Jonin that led the caravan walked up to the seven swordsman member. Lord Zabuza, what are you doing all the way on this side of the village? I was doing a patrol out of boredom, the masked swordsman replied. Got tired of hearing Ringo complain, so I decided to come here. Didn't know we were doing a transport. Yes, with the different raids from the rebel group it was getting difficult to maintain defense of Prison 3 as it's slowly being thinned down. Lord Yagura has been thinking of positioning a member of the Seven Swords to guard the area. Lord Kismet has been in thoughts. Interesting, I should really start paying more attention to these meetings from the village. So, how many of the bloodliners are being transferred? We have only 12 in this caravan, but another 2 are picking up more as we speak. That way we can get ahead of these damn annoying rebels. As Naruto listened in on the conversation, he looked back up with his aura sight before he noticed that the Anbu auras on the rooftops suddenly were snuffed out and in its place was Zabuza's. He looked down to find that the Anbu in the alleyway also was taken out. Zabuza's clones have successfully taken out the Anbu, Naruto thought as his hand gathered aura. They are in position. Targets are in position, get ready to strike. Naruto heard a hum in response. Now The water near the group bubbled before it burst forward as Suigetsu formed with his blade ready and a smirk on his face, catching them all by surprise. He swung the Tonto blade and slit the throats of 2 of the nearest guards. It's a rebel ambush. Get the bloodline scum. One of the shinobi cried out as they all snapped out of their shock. 6. Before any of the other guards could strike, an onslaught of Senbon needles rushed out and hit several of them in the necks. Each one that got struck, stopped moving as they convulsed and dropped to the floor. There is another one, stay sharp, the obvious leader commanded. Lord Zabuza, we need your assistance to kill these rebel fools and transport these prisoners. Sure thing, could use some early morning exercise, Zabuza said as he lifted Kubirikocho and stared at Suigetsu. You ready? Suigetsu looked nervous before he smirked when Zabuza did and both struck outward and decapitated nearest to each one of them. In the case of Zabuza, it was 3 shinobi before he turned and decapitated the horse that was pulling the caravan. Unfortunately the Jonin commander survived by jumping away in time. Lord Zabuza, what do you think you are doing? Just doing a bit of clean-up at Sui, the mist swordsman replied as he looked at the remaining enemies. You handle the last 4 Suigetsu while Janine handles the ones closest to the carriage. I'll end at Sui, seeing as he is a mist Anbu guard. Sure thing, can't wait to have a little fun, Suigetsu replied as he readied his blade with a smirk, the Jonins growling at the young rebel before them. As the 7 remaining Jonins moved in on Suigetsu, Janine attacked from below, making one of them grab his leg in pain as a Senbon needle stuck out. He's not alone, so don't you dare think about leaving me hanging, she said with a confident smirk as she finished a set of hand signs. Ninja art. Poison gas. She released a purple cloud of gas from her mouth. The Jonins covered their mouths and separated, 2 by the cart and 3 jumped to the side. Looks like I'll be having more fun this time Janine, Suigetsu taunted as he chased the 4 Jonins. Meh, quality over quantity water boy, she replied as she grabbed her kunai and went after the other 2. Naruto used quick attack to dash to the opposite side of the caravan, facing the lock-in door. Naruto could the multitude of seals throat the caravan, probably to keep the prisoners within docile. Seeing Janine battle the Jonins, Naruto couldn't help but mesmerized for a moment by how well she was fighting. She used a sickle and chain along with Senbons that had pinpoint accuracy to keep them on the defensive. When one decided to go for a hand sign, they generally found a Senbon heading for between their fingers to disrupt the attempt. Not to mention her poisons in close range were a deadly combination as she was actually weak physically, but made up for it with skill and agility along with great speed. She reminded Naruto of the stories he had read about Hano the salamander when he was younger. Snapping from his thoughts, Naruto placed a hand on his earpiece. Do it now Janine. I'm in position. Nodding, Janine threw out 3 kunai with explosive tags before making more hand seals after distracted the Jonin with Senbons. Ninja art. poisonous sealing. The moment the seals made contact with the ground, the tags exploded, making the shinobi crowd together. Quickly a purple seal appears that released a purple cloud around them. Before it could engulf them, one of the Jonin cried out their own jutsu in response. Water style. Water shockwave. A wave of water shot from the middle of the area that pushed the cloud of gas away while the other Jonin used a whip made of water to wrap around Janine. Hey, got you now, you brat, he said as he tugged on the whip. You're going to regret your decision, you filthy blood sympathizer. Saji, tag the bitch with a seal. I am sure she would love to join these fools at the camps. When his partner did not move or respond, he grew confused. Did you hear me, Saji? I said tag her. Soon the man known as Daniel collapsed on his back, foam and blood coming from his mouth as he laid in the water-soaked streets. Saji, what the hell happened? My poison, of course, as it latches onto your chakra coils. The moment he used his chakra to use a jutsu, it will spread, attacking his system. Much like poison traveling through the bloodstream. You both have it, by the way. With a questioning glance, the Jonin's body began to shake as his vision became blurry. The water whip dropped to the floor, becoming a puddle. Janine walked over to the Jonin before using her sickle and cutting off both the unconscious shinobi's heads with the sickle's blades. Blood mixed in with the water before she turned to watch her teammates. Zabuza was still fighting the Anbu, keeping the commander from weaving any hand signs. Zabuza could have killed the man many times over by now, but was enjoying himself. She looked to Suigetsu, who was doing well fighting off the three Jonins pretty well. His water body technique coming in handy to avoid any major damage, while doing his best to keep them from using any jutsus. The issue was that it was still 3-on-1 and one of them got a kick in that gave him time to form hand signs. This was interrupted by two Senbon needles that dug into his neck and elbows. This made the Jonin grunt in pain as he felt his entire body lock up. This gave Suigetsu time to increase his arm and fist to a bulky mass and punch the man in the face. The Jonin was sent into a building so hard that it left a crater in the wall. Suigetsu smirked as his arm returned to normal and looked to the remaining three Jonin as Janine joined his side. You know, I was doing fine on my own, Janine, he said without looking at her. I really didn't need your help. Yeah, and letting that bastard use a jutsu that could possibly alert Yagura and his lapdogs to our assault must have been part of the plan as well. Shut up, besides we need to keep one at a decent health to know how many are left at their little prison. Right when they were about to fight, a loud cutting noise was heard. They all looked to find Naruto with his right arm glowing green and the cart door sliced open. You guys are free. The rebels are here to break you all out of here. The prisoned shinobi walked out, joy and shock on their faces for being freed. The prisoners. Sir, the prisoners are free. Shit. The commander replied before dodging an overhead swing from Zabuza's blade and barely dodged a kick from the man. Clasping his hands together and jumping away, his cheeks bulged. Water style. Liquid bullet. A ball of compressed water rammed into Zabuza, making the bulking man take a few steps back from the force. Aiming his head upwards, he quickly did another set of hand signs. Water style. Great cannonball. This time he shot the technique towards the sky. This will alert the others, and with so many nearby, even Zabuza will get overwhelmed. Before the giant ball of water could reach the top, Naruto fired his aura sphere that collided and destroyed the water technique. Water rained about the field. The Anbu commander could only look on in shock before his world went black as Zabuza cleaved the man in two. The swordsman looked down at the dead shinobi before turning his gaze to the last two mist ninja. Janine and Suigetsu surrounded them, both ready to attack. The freed shinobi glared at their once captors, wanting nothing more to get payback for what has happened to them and their loved ones since being caught. You two might as well just give up, Suigetsu taunted as she watched both men sweat. Hey, you never know, you two might live to see another sunrise. So, what's it going to be, gentlemen? Janine stated as she pulled out her senbon. Fight and die, or surrender and live. Both Jonin looked at one another, giving each other a slight and subtle nod. Everyone got a bad feeling and prepared to strike if need be. Feeling his aura go about in a warning fashion, Naruto activated his aura sight. His eyes widened when he notices the aura that surrounded the coils began to shift and guide towards specific spots throughout their bodies. Guys, they are activating seals throughout their body. Get back. Janine's and Suigetsu's eyes widened as they jumped away along with Zabuza. The two Jonins laughed maniacally as their bodies glowed. In 3 seconds, both shinobi exploded as the area rocked with extreme force. When the smoke cleared up, Naruto stood in front of the bloodline users, who would not have been able to avoid the explosion, with his protect barrier surrounding them. The bloodliners looked at the young red blonde with shock at seeing the barrier of light. Zabuza appeared next to Naruto with a smirk. Good work, brat, on noticing the exploding tags. We need to get moving now though, as those explosions have no doubt been noticed by other mist shinobi. Most of us won't be much help. Lord Zabuza, a brown-haired man that looked malnourished and dirty, spoke up. Most of our chakra has been sealed off for so long, our control was shot, and not to mention our bodies are not in a prime condition. Well then, it's best to get moving now so you can shake off that rust. Stay in the middle, while me and the brats will cover you. Naruto, you're up front because of your eye ability thing. Janine, flank left while Suigetsu will flank right. I'll guard behind while using the hidden mist jutsu. Now move. They all followed Zabuza's orders, moving and staying as quiet as possible, Naruto's aura sight on full effect. The team ran for a few minutes, getting closer to the docks of the city, hoping to get to one of the abandoned islands before Naruto stopped and told everyone to urgently hide. Everyone listened in an instant and ran into the shadows of the many forgotten buildings as more shinobi ran into the city. From the vests, most were chunin in rank, but with an addition of 5 different jonin. Counting them out, there were about 20 shinobi in total, which was way more than they would be able to handle right now. Thing is, that wasn't what worried Naruto and made him sweat in nervousness was that Amayuri Ringo, one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist like Zabuza, was amongst the group. This is bad, Naruto thought as he prepared his aura to be ready to fight. From what Lady May has told me, Ringo hunts down her prey relentlessly. She uses the legendary sword's nose as the Kiba blades to deal out her lightning style ninjutsu, which makes her a much greater threat than others. Anyone got any bright ideas? Suigetsu whispered over the earpiece. If we try to take them on, we are in for one hell of a fight. If that's the case, I call dibs on the Kiba blades. Everyone got nervous when Amayuri and 2 of the jonin landed near the front of the building. As Amayuri got near the window Naruto was watching from, the young guardian got nervous alongside the prisoners. Janine pulled out poison-tipped Senbon in case she needed them. Zabuza grabbed the hint of his blade in preparation. Amayuri looked into the and Naruto's eyes widened as the Kiba blade wielder smirked viciously. Amayuri turned around to the following shinobi. Finish checking the area you were looking and move on. The prey is most likely not here and have already left. So hurry your asses up. The other shinobi stopped what they were doing and with a resounding, yes Lady Amarui. They all left the village. Naruto watched them all closely with his aura sight, and when they were all gone, he let out a deep breath that he was holding in the whole time. Wanting to be 100% sure that they were gone, he activated his aura sense and reached out as far as skills would allow him. Not sensing anyone or anything that would be a threat, he released a sigh of relief. They are gone, so now would be a good time to move everyone. Not to waste the opportunity, they all made their way as best and fast as they could. Zabuza helped them all to a traveling lodge and placed his hand on the side bank. Sending chakra through a hidden seal, caused a couple of boats to appear in a poof of smoke. We had an inclination that you guys were going to have trouble with your chakra, so these boats were set up here just in case. As everyone began to get on the boat, Naruto was deep in his thoughts, his aura sense still on full blast. I am sure of it, Naruto thought to himself. Amayuri saw us in that building, there is no doubt in my mind. Not to mention, she smirked in our direction. She definitely saw us, so why did she let us go like that? What's on your mind, Naruto? Janine interrupted as she grabbed Naruto's hand, snapping him out of it. You seem to be really lost in thought. Is everything alright? Are the enemies on their way back or something? She gave Naruto a cute head tilt that made Naruto blush but shook it off. No, nothing like that, Naruto replied as he looked around. It's just, happened back there was so strange. I have no doubt that Amayuri saw me and just ignored me. She practically lives and breathes her hunting ability and yet she couldn't find us. I practically locked eyes with her and yet she couldn't see me. I'm worried. Well, keep in mind that she is not nearly as dangerous as she used to be, Janine replied as she got on the boat with him. Ever since her sickness, her entire skill set has died down. So most likely her eyesight has diminished as well. True, but she is still better than a good 90% of the Anbu in this village, Sugestu added from the water. He had chosen to forego the boat and use his water body oodline technique to swim beside the boat. She would normally have no trouble tracking down her prey, whether she had a disease or not. Knowing how she works, she could just want to make her hunts more interesting by letting us go. No sense in worrying about it now. Naruto sighed as he nodded in agreement with Suigetsu as he looked to the prisoners. Hey, mind if I ask you all a question? The freed prisoners all gave Naruto their full attention. I am looking for a friend of mine that I know has been captured by Kiri Shinobi. She's small, about under your knees. She has a white dress that also covers her feet. Blue hair with this strange red band coming from the top of her head. The blue hair covers eyes completely and she is very shy. Note also that she is not exactly human looking either. Know anyone or anything with that description? They thought over his question, trying to think of a prisoner with that description. Wait, I remember seeing a creature with that description at my original prison. Though I never saw it for very long, only short bursts at a time. Naruto's head snapped towards the young woman so fast that everyone was sure that he would have a case of whiplash. Where did you see her? Which prison? Please tell me. The female prisoner took a step back as Naruto was practically in her personal space, surprised by the desperate look in the kid's eyes. I saw her in one of the deeper parts of a prison that I was being transferred from for my unruly behavior. Back on Scourge Island between the water canal channels. In the lower levels of the containment prison. It doubles as a small research facility focused around replication. They have taken the little one down there multiple times, I'm assuming to find out what she was. After one of its many escape attempts, they keep her locked up tight with seals. When Naruto heard this, he couldn't suppress the worry and rage that overcame him at those words. At hearing what Ralt's most likely gone through since her capture during his time searching. His blood began to boil as his hair began to spike upwards and his red bangs spiked forward like horns. His whisker marks darkened as his fangs sharpened considerably. His heterochromic eyes turned blood red with slit pupils. Naruto clenched his fists, which now had long, sharpened nails, until blood dripped from the skin. Where is this prison located? The only son of the fourth Hokage growled out, showing his voice had become more gruff. It's to the northwest of here when transversing the water, you can't miss it at all honestly. It's a pretty big building. The freed girl stuttered out. She had never thought she would actually be so scared of a child, a strong one, but a child nonetheless. Naruto looked to the direction she pointed to and growled. He stretched out his senses, his aura sight going much further than he has ever done before. He was able to see all the different auras of the different life energies that were within his powerful sight. Fish, birds, all of them. He focused in on a large structure that had a good amount of signatures and one blurry signature. This one he could see clearly, much like when he first learned his aura sight. That's my best bet, he thought as he attempted to zero in on the signature. Ralts has got to be located there. How tight is the security there? Naruto asked the prisoner. I saw a really strong signature over there. Who is it? Any weak point? Who is in control of that prison? That was most likely Kushimaru as he was given control to watch over the prison transfers. First day there and a good portion of the prisoners were killed for getting a bit out of line. I don't even want to think of what it's like to be down there with someone like him in charge. Naruto growled in more rage and was about to make his way towards the prison, but was halted by Zabuza clamping his hand down onto his shoulder. Where do you think you're going, you stupid brat? Where the hell do you think? Naruto growled out. I'm going to that prison and get Ralts out of there. Without a connection, I can't just reverse summon her to safety. So I have to go there. Oh yeah, sure, go ahead. Go storm a max security prison, surrounded by water and guards that are unknown strength and skills along with a member of the Seven Swordsmen too. One of the more bloodthirsty ones as well. Not to mention the unknown security of the island. By all means, go get yourself and your little friend killed. Naruto gripped his fists tightly as he glared downward at his feet, his aura raging like a storm along with his thoughts. Naruto could feel his tears welling up in eyes at the mere thought of it all. He needed to figure it out. What could he do to help protect Ralts? He needs to save her. And nothing will stop him.